Here we are at the United States Mint of Philadelphia. On November 17th, the last penny was minted right here. Looks like the old mint's getting a facelift. Here we are at Benjamin Franklin's grave. He's attributed to coining the term "a penny saved is a penny earned." People leave pennies on his gravestone. It is one of the traditions. Since the penny's been out of circulation, I can see in a few years people selling pennies to the tourists here. Benjamin Franklin also lived an accomplished life. This is the chronologically of Benjamin Franklin. I can't pronounce that. But these are the many these are the many accomplishments of Benjamin Franklin.
The Fugio scent seen here, also called the Franklin scent, is widely regarded as America's first official penny. Benjamin Franklin loved wordplay, and the Fugio scent is a classic example. Franklin essentially invented the first American dad joke on a coin, as this appears to be meant as a pun, with Fugio paired with the sundial with the rising sun above it. Time flies, mind your business. Mind your business could also mean pay attention to your affairs. Also business means coinage or trade, so mind your business. Use this coin wisely. The original coin was minted in copper, and if you like this coin and a little bit about the history and Benjamin Franklin, you could pick this up on eBay as a copper round. Currently coming to you from my basement laboratory in an undisclosed location, and this is my attempt at alchemy. I try to take the knowledge that I accumulate and I try to implement it into my daily life through disciplines. One of the disciplines I have begun is to pick up the change that we all walk by, think nothing of. I wouldn't even stop and pick up a quarter if I saw it on the street. Now I take the time and I'll pick up all the pennies, and even if it's outside of a store and there's many people walking by, and it's also humiliating, a little bit of humility in the process. But I take what is unwanted, what some may consider trash, and I try to turn it into gold, treasure. So I take this, I'll collect change, I collect it, I throw it in here, this little basket, then I sort through it, and I separate more valuable stuff. So like copper pennies are 1981 and older. There are some copper pennies that were made in 1982, and in 1982 some are copper, some are not. But this is the base metal I start with. I collect the change, separate what I think is valuable. Also have some wheat pennies, and you find other coins along the way. So when this builds up, save it up in a jar. When this builds up, I cash it in, and I try to buy silver.
This is my latest pickup from the change jar. It used to get me, when my jar was full, it used to be around $30. It used to get me an ounce. Now, these days, it gets me a half ounce, but I like to try and turn the zinc, the copper, the nickel into silver, and in hopes of one day taking the silver and turning it into gold. The act of picking this up and expending energy, showing humility, is like the furnace. You know, you melt down, purify the base metals, and end up with a product like this. And my goal to attaining wealth is to ultimately be a better person and gain my freedom. So some say that, a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, your copper penny is worth 3 cents. I feel like Thousandaire Radio right now, building a little terracotta enemy, or a little terracotta army. And this army's going to go out and is going to do some conquering and add to the ranks. But his army's merc dimes, mine's copper, but you got to start somewhere. Even the smallest disciplines, can turn into, you never know where they'll end up. So right now, I figure this is a good time to sort through, show you how to tell the difference between a 1982 copper penny and a regular penny. All right, so this is weighing in. Let's see, make sure I'm not on any pennies there. All right, so copper penny will weigh around like 3 grams here. A regular penny, and this is in grams, so this is about 2.5 grams for your average zinc penny. So that goes into the trash pile. All right, these are some of the, I haven't checked these out yet. So that one's copper, goes into the pile. Copper. So we've been getting lucky so far with the 82s. Not quite 3. That's iffy. That's borderline. Throw that on there. Copper. Oh. Zinc. Copper. So we're doing pretty good. Zinc. So that's a way to separate your 1982 pennies, to know the difference if they're copper or zinc. If you just want to be safe, stick with 1981 and older. So plans on what to do with the copper pennies I save. I would eventually like to sell them to someone. I looked on eBay recently, and there's a marketplace for pre-1981 pennies. I have approximately about 5 pounds of pennies right here in copper. I believe, I round off numbers, so around $1.50 in pennies, copper pennies, is about 1 pound in copper. $15 face value is about 10 pounds in copper. So I have close to 8
dollars in face value here, which is about, around £5. And you could sell £5 of your pre-1981 copper pennies on eBay. People will buy them. I pick these up off the ground, so these are no cost to me at all. So whatever I get out of them is just pure profit that I can use for, obtaining other things like silver and hopefully eventually gold. So there's a marketplace on eBay for this, and I looked at the sold items, a lot of recent sales. So, you might not get your 3 cents out of it, but with eBay fees, shipping, all that, you might be able to double your money. Also, now that the penny's going away, corporations and companies are adjusting. There's opportunities. Banks are offering double the face value of your regular zinc pennies. Supermarkets are offering double for your zinc pennies. And so even these are even going up in value. Eventually these will be worth 5 cents. If time is part of alchemy. If I let these sit here, they will gain in value when they become like 5 cents each. Might be a good time for me to trade them in and an attempt at some silver. So this is my attempt at alchemy. I hope you all enjoyed this. Hopefully you got a little something out of it, and let me know what your silver tips and tricks are, how you get a extra ounce here and there. Well, from the basement studios, I'm out. Now get out of here.